Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. First of all, I would like to tell you that if you are watching this video first time, subscribe my channel to see my more upcoming videos on analysis of different commodities and equity indices. And second important thing is to watch this video till its end to understand this solely to take your decision. Your one like will motivate me to be regular and working more for you. So let us start the day to analyze the movements of natural gas futures in different time frames. So friends, here you can see a monthly chart of natural gas futures, because here you can see that how the natural gas futures started the current uptrend from the lows of dollar 2.5, and here you can see that how from June 2021 we have seen a steep upward move in natural gas futures, when finally natural gas futures have tested a high at the $5.288 on Monday. This was not a demand generated rally in natural gas futures. This is hype of hurricanes, where we have seen the impact of Hurricane Ida, which resulted in a sharp upward move in natural gas futures. And finally, on Monday, storm has turned into a hurricane of category 1 on Monday, which could be a little devastating, not equal to the Hurricane Ida, because here I find that over 40% of the US Gulf of Mexico's production of crude and natural gas remained shut on Monday, 2 weeks after the Hurricane Ida wreaked havoc in Louisiana, and the regular Bureau of Safety and Environment Information said about 794,000 barrels per day of crude production and 1.15 billion cubic feet per day of natural gas were offline, while 47 production platforms continued evacuated. But here I find that the Hurricane Ida could not be devastating like Hurricane Ida. This storm has potential for widespread flash flooding. Houston can easily have problems with 4 to 5 inches of rains, according to CNN meteorologists. So here I find that shortly we could find this havoc created on arrival of Hurricane Nicholas. So here I find that the natural gas futures could take a sharp downward move. So friends, here I find that if the natural gas futures are not able to sustain well above the immediate resistance at the levels of $5.307, because here most of the traders have come up with growing expectations, and they are comparing this move where the natural gas futures have crossed the previous highs of 2018 in 2021 above the levels of $4.902, and finally the natural gas futures have been sustaining well above the psychological resistance at $5. So undoubtedly most of the traders have become more bullish and started to compare upcoming moves to test the next psychological resistance at $6. So friends, here they have started to compare this move with the previous year highs, what we have seen during the year 2014. So now the natural gas bulls are trying to compare the next resistance at the 5.7, but I don't find that this move could have potential to test these highs once again, because this move was generated due to the devastating impacts of recent hurricanes. But now the current Hurricane Nicholas is not so severe. This is only category 1 hurricane, which could bring only heavy rains. So friends, here I find that shortly we'll see the continuation of an exhaustion in natural gas futures, because the natural gas futures have already trading in an overbought territory according to fundamentals. Because here I find that shortly the natural gas production could restart in the Gulf of Mexico, which could extend selling pressure in natural gas futures from the current levels. So friends, here the question arises that whether the natural gas futures could test the next resistance at the levels of $5.631, or it will test the immediate support at the levels of $4.7, because here I find that shortly the natural gas futures could find a sharp downward move to test the immediate support at the levels of $4.686, and the next support can be seen at the levels of $4.4. So friends, here I find that the natural gas futures could find $1 downward move from here up to the closing of this month. So friends, here I find that shortly we'll see the advent of this downward move. So friends, now let us check this move in a weekly time frame. So friends, here in a weekly time frame, here you can see that how the natural gas futures have been maintaining an uptrend from the levels of the 2.147, from where the natural gas futures found a breakout during the first week of August, but found stiff resistance at the levels of the 2.734 and found a sharp downward move back up to the levels of the 1.8, from where once again the natural gas futures started this uptrend and continued to move upward and finally reached the immediate psychological resistance at $3 during the last week of October 2020. But here the natural gas futures found stiff resistance at the levels of $3.358 during the first week of November 2020. Since then, the natural gas futures remained under heavy bearish pressure up to June 2021, when the natural gas futures started the current uptrend from the first week of June 2021 from the levels of $3, when the natural gas futures found first breakout here above the levels of $3, which was a psychological resistance up to here. But now this psychological resistance turned into a psychological support in May 2021. Since then, we have seen the continuation of this uptrend up to this Monday, when the natural gas futures tested a multi-year high at the levels of $5.288. So friends, here I find that here you can see that how in a weekly time frame an exhaustion can be clearly seen here, because this is a live chart of natural gas futures. So here I find that shortly we'll see this exhaustion to continue. If we find a breakdown below the levels of 5.056, we'll see this continuation of exhaustion in natural gas futures during this week. And I find that during this week, inventory levels could be of a more injection than the previous one that could keep natural gas futures under heavy bearish pressure. So friends, here I would like to tell you about the tropical disturbances in the Gulf of Mexico. So here you can see that currently the hurricane Nicholas is here and heading towards the Texas and the Louisiana. Here I find that the need of the hour is to keep a visual eye over the current route of Hurricane Nicholas, because this could have a major impact over the movements of natural gas futures. And the second disturbance is here, where this formation has 50% chances of a cyclone formation within next 5 days, which is very far from here, and the affected area could be this one. And here I find that if this turns into a hurricane, so friends, here I find that this could turn towards this area. And the third disturbance is here, which has 80% chances of cyclone formation within next 5 days. So this could move towards this area. So friends, here I find that the Hurricane Nicholas could move towards Texas and the Louisiana here. So friends, now let me show you the route of Hurricane Nicholas. So here currently the tropical storm Nicholas is here and is heading towards the Texas and Louisiana. So friends, here this Hurricane Nicholas could cover this area up to Tuesday. So here I find that this route could be like this one. So friends, here I find that this could have little impact over the natural gas rates, which are located in the Gulf of Mexico near Louisiana and Texas. So here I don't find that the Hurricane Nicholas has major impact over the natural gas rigs. So friends, here I find that shortly the natural gas rigs could start once again, which could result in sharp downward move of natural gas futures, where I find that if the natural gas futures close this week below the levels of $5, this will be the confirmation of this exhaustion. So now let us check this move in a daily time frame. So here in a daily time frame where you can see that how the natural futures have been showing exhaustion after testing a multi-year high at the $5.288. Currently, the natural futures have been trading at the $5.206 after testing a low at the $5.191 and a high at the $5.207. So friends, the natural gas futures have been trading in a very narrow range today. So friends, here I find that there is a thick presence of pairs above the levels of $5.248, where I find that the bearish pressure could continue over the natural gas futures, which could drag down the natural gas futures well below the levels of $4.931, which is a very important level for the natural gas futures in a daily time frame, where the 9 days moving average, which is currently at the levels of $4.923, could provide some support here, where the natural gas futures could find some buying support amid this zone from the levels of $4.856 to $4.919. So friends, here I find that in a downward move, the natural gas futures could test the levels of $4.9, where a big down below this level could drag down the natural gas futures towards the next support at the 26 days moving average, which is currently at the levels of $4.511. So friends, here I find that during this week, the natural gas futures could see a big down below this level, and here I find that a sustainable move below the levels of $4.4 could drag down the natural gas futures up to the levels of $4.2. Before the end of this month, the natural gas futures could test the upper end of Ichimoku cloud, which is currently at the levels of $3.950. So friends, here I find that the overall trend could remain bearish up to the end of this month if we don't find any major development of one more hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. The natural gas futures could continue to show exhaustive moves during the upcoming weeks. So friends, now let's check this move in an hourly time frame. So here in an hourly time frame, where you can see that how the natural gas futures have been facing heavy selling pressure after the formation of this bearish formation, and the natural gas futures have been currently trading well below the 9 days moving average, which looks evident enough for the continuation of this exhaustion, where a big down below the immediate support at the 26 days moving average, which is currently at the levels of $5.096 in an hour time frame, which will be the first confirmation of an advance of a downward move, and the second confirmation will be a big down below the lower end of Ichimoku cloud in an hour time frame, which is currently at the levels of $4.943. Friends, here I find that the natural gas futures could test the levels of $4.891 on September 14th. So here I would like to tell you that the real action starts at 7 a.m. every day when the natural gas bulls and bears come in action. So here I find that the natural gas futures could test the levels of 4.888 up to 7 a.m., where I find that after 7 a.m., if the natural gas futures are not able to hold the levels of 4.888, we could see a sharp downward move in natural gas futures up to the levels of 4.665 before today's closing. So thank you friends, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.